Hey guys, welcome to my Vali Guide. Now, to get started, I have to introduce you to what Vali is. Now, Vali is a module in TGMC, TerraGov Marine Corps. It's a module made for Melee, in a game where you play as Marines against the Xenomorphs. Now, to get started, you're going to want to pick whichever weapon suits you best. I personally prefer the spear, but some may prefer the clay. It doesn't actually matter. None of it matters. It doesn't matter. Why? Because Vali sucks! Vali is awful! Vali is literally the worst thing ever, and the worst iteration of a melee class in any game I have ever seen! And this is why. Why did it suck? Because it fails to do anything a melee class should do in a game. It's not as lethal as a gun, even if you have good positioning, nor does it force enemies to move. It does nothing. It doesn't even have good support. What causes that? It's quite simple. Vali doesn't do any damage. At most, the spear does 96 per second. Now let's see Paul Allen's gun. This is a pistol! It does 132 per second! Now then, moving on. Let's cover some of the counter-arguments I've heard from people so invested in saying, "But Vali is good! Vali's overpowered!" No it's not. It can give you healing. It gives you 6 healing per second. At maximum, which isn't that impressive, considering it doesn't help against stuns, nor does it give you any speed, so you're still essentially a non-threat, because you don't do any damage, and you have no mobility. You can't keep up with a xenomorph. Well, what about chemicals? You might not be surprised to hear this, but chemicals aren't good. Chemicals suck, actually. Chemicals are awful. Bicardian? Wow, guys, I can channel my stupid little spear to make someone heal like 30 brute damage maximum. You know what else I could do? I could just give them the Bicardian that's in my pocket and heal all of their brute damage. Crazy, I know. Whoa, guys, I can set xenomorphs on fire? You know what else can do that? An underbarrel flamethrower on a gun! On a gun! There's a gun with a flamethrower! Or you can have a plasma pistol and still have a secondary! You get both! Well, I could slow a xenomorph down for 1 second, or I could use a gun and stun lock them to death. I could use a shotgun and stun lock them to death. Well, guys, I can give a xenomorph 7.5 sunder. You know what else can do that? A gun! A gun can do that! This one does 7.5 armor sundering per hit on slug shells! That's the same amount you do per melee hit! This is the most default gun in the game. And it does 125 damage per second. That's more than your maximum, and let me remind you, it's a gun. It is a gun. It shoots bullets. And it has attachments. You don't get those. You don't get to do damage, you don't get bullets, and you don't get attachments. Like I said earlier, right? Woohoo, guys, 10 fire damage. Just use a flamethrower. You can get a flamethrower on your gun. Well, what about my storage? You have to use so much space on chemicals just to make Vali slightly viable. Slightly viable. And again, let me remind you, you don't get a gun. And it takes up your armor equipment slot. You can't get a shield, you can't get armor, you can't get explosive armor, you can't get self-healing. You used it on a melee. That does nothing. That does nothing for you. It has no benefits. And it's not even lethal in melee range. you can miss xenomorphs can't because they have bump attack, despite having the same DPS against one another as a xenomorph does. You barely out DPS a xenomorph drone, and you still have ammo! You still need chemicals to fuel your melee weapon. To fuel your spear, you need ammunition. It does nothing for you. It doesn't excel at anything. Ooh, I don't know. It doesn't excel at anything. It beats me. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't deny space. It's not lethal in melee range. It doesn't out DPS a tier 1 cast. How would I improve Vali? I'm not just like a hater, right, guys? I'm not just a hater. I gotta give my own ideas. There's like a billion ways. Make it inflict lasting wounds. Make it give stronger healing. Fire with added lethality against facehuggers. Stronger sunder. Poison. I don't know, speed and anti-stun on the combat chem it gives you. Better healing and anti-stun so you can deny space. Don't worry, we're not done yet. You could give it extremely high burst damage, so it's more of a threat to approach, because if you approach something with high burst damage, you might not make it out before you can heal. At the very least, it should have the same DPS as a pistol. You could give it +1 tile of reach on every weapon, make the spear have 3, make everything else have 2, make it capable of staggering once enough damage is done. I don't know, do anything. Do anything. It's that simple. And the worst part is, a Roblox game did it better. Lancer, get in here. This is my GOAT right here. He's better in every category. He does more damage. He forces people to move. He's as lethal as a gun once he hits melee range. He has the longest healing animation in-game if he hits you. He controls space. If he charges at you and you do not shoot him or you do not move, you die. When he approaches you, you are forced to shoot him, move, or die. You don't just sit there tanking his pillow fists and then walk away and heal it all in 4 seconds. He's lethal. If he gets in melee range, you die. You're dead. It's over. You're donezo. He still has options to keep up at range. He has throwing axes, which don't have ammunition, by the way, which do 99% of max HP on hit. And you know what? You know what? Even with all of that, he's still the worst class in game. 0 shocks killed, 0 points flanked, 7 missed axe throws. He's not good in melee because shotguns exist. His charge can insta-kill, or you can get shot twice before you reach anyone. You can kill someone easily in melee range, or you can get shot twice before you reach anyone. His axes do 199 damage, but they have bullet drop. His stim can heal him, but there's clotting anytime you get shot, so if you get shot twice, you die. At his max, he is just viable. He's still not good. He's so much better than Vali, and yet he's just playable. He's just a playable character in a video game. He just functions. I don't know how else to break it to you, how bad Vali is, if playable is leagues above where Vali is. And so I'll show you instead.